Xbox had to go crawling to their competitors to keep their biggest franchises afloat. Meanwhile, mind you, they are tripling down on high prices. Look, I've said in the past that Xbox is already dead. People just don't know it yet. So today we're gonna find out if I was actually right. Today, let's dive in and figure out what exactly is going wrong with Xbox now. But first, what's going on, guys? Cheers. Before we jump in, I just want to thank all of you guys who have been liking the videos lately. One of my recent videos has over 24,000 likes. I just seriously, guys, thank you so much. All right, guys, if the Xbox Game Pass price increase is seen as the nail in the coffin for the Xbox brand, then today will mark the dirt being tossed on the casket, because as you can see, Microsoft confirms Halo will be on PlayStation going forward. Master Chief is a multi-platform boy now, and there are huge implications about that, and we'll talk about Halo on Nintendo consoles in a little bit. But let's take a look here. Today, Microsoft and Halo Studios announced they're remaking the original Halo again as Halo Campaign Evolved. The remake is sprucing up the shooter's campaign, adding 3 new prequel levels, and will support up to 4-player co-op runs. The biggest news out of the announcement, however, is that the game is also coming to PlayStation 5. Rest in peace, ladies and gentlemen. This is it. Xbox is dead. I don't know who needs to hear it, but everyone knows it, right? I mean, come on, it's over. The article goes on to say it sounds like Master Chief's adventures will also be coming to PlayStation for the foreseeable future. This was confirmed on a live stream from the Halo World Championship after the remake's announcement. Halo Studios community director Brian Sketch Gerard said that Halo is a multi-platform series, quote, going forward. The remake supports crossplay between platforms, so if you want to get your old co-op buddies together after 25 years, you can do that no matter what system they're playing on, and it sounds like that will be the case with future games as well. But there's even more evidence here, because a post on the PlayStation blog teased that Halo Studios may have more Halo announcements for PlayStation 5 owners in the future, saying, quote, as the Master Chief once said, I think we're just getting started, end quote. If the series is coming to a new audience this many entries in, I wouldn't be surprised if we also see the Master Chief collection on PlayStation in the coming years. I think it's coming to Switch 2. I'm gonna be real, I think it's coming to Switch 2 in probably 2026. We'll talk more about the Switch 2 in just a minute, but there are some Halo fans that are already kind of upset about this brand new remaster or remake, I guess we can call it, and here's why. Microsoft reportedly refused to discuss why Halo Campaign Evolved won't have multiplayer. After months of speculation, the cat is officially out of the bag. Halo is receiving a Combat Evolved remake titled Halo Campaign Evolved, and it will release next year in honor of the franchise's 25th anniversary on PlayStation for the first time in history. As first reported by Tom Warren of The Verge in the lead up to the Campaign Evolved's official reveal, where media had access to a pre-release beta, he did ask Microsoft about the lack of multiplayer, something many consider to be a signature element of Halo as a franchise. Quote, I did ask Microsoft to comment about the lack of multiplayer, but the company refused to discuss it, end quote, Warren wrote. With silence even on Microsoft's end, it's unclear what exactly led to the decision not to include multiplayer. Guys, if you want the answer, I'll just straight up tell you the answer, okay? It's money. It's literally, it's money. First of all, it's going to cost them money to develop multiplayer. Of course, that's not going to be that much. I mean, they're just remaking what's already existing, right? But now they're doing it in Unreal Engine. But also we can look back on what they did with Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 Remastered. Remember when that came out? Remember when it was just the campaign? Didn't they bundle that with one of the garbage Call of Duties from back in the day? People completely forgot about that remaster because they just threw it in the garbage. Now, I know people played it and they might have liked it because the campaign is actually solid for that game, but the biggest thing about the original Modern Warfare 2 was that the multiplayer was insane. It was a cultural phenomenon. People still reference the voice chats from those lobbies, although not typically for good reasons, but hey, I feel good knowing I was there, boys. Just don't ever leak the voice chats from that game, please. I'm begging you. My career depends on you not ever leaking those voice chats. But going back to Halo, Xbox Live back in the day revolutionized multiplayer shooters, and so to have it missing here is just like putting a 60-mile-an-hour limit on a brand new Lamborghini. It's like, well, what's even the point then? Why would I even get it? Like, sure, it looks nice and it'll be cool, but I don't really care. Personally, for me, I would like to pick this up, but I'm probably going to wait for it to go on sale for like Black Friday or something like that. I know it's not coming until next year, I get that, but there's no need for a day one purchase here. If I want to play the campaign, I can already do that, and so without multiplayer, there's no rush. I'll just pick it up when it's cheaper. But to go back to my original point, money is the reason that they're not releasing the multiplayer, because that's going to take players away from Halo Infinite if people are even still playing that game, and Halo Infinite has microtransactions, which we don't see in the original original Halo Combat Evolved. And so once you start fragmenting the already small player base of Halo Infinite, I mean, like, look, I feel like a majority of players would go back to Halo Combat Evolved multiplayer. But even if you don't buy that argument, right, like even if you say like, oh, that's not true at all, right, people are still going to play Infinite, okay, fair enough. But I suspect that they're probably going to release another Halo game in the future, right? And they're definitely not going to want any other Halo multiplayer experiences competing with whatever that game is going to be, whether it comes out in 1, 2, or 3 years, who knows. And this is the exact same reason why Call of Duty didn't release Modern Warfare 2 Remastered with multiplayer, because they know the multiplayer experience in the original Modern Warfare 2 is way better than any multiplayer experience that they've come out with in the last, I don't know, 7 years. Like, we haven't had a good multiplayer experience in Call of Duty in ages, and that's it precisely why they didn't do that remaster. The old stuff is better than the new stuff. Objectively, everyone agrees. And one thing that would piss investors off more than anything is having your player base go back to old content, which indicates, one, your latest stuff is bad, so what you've been doing lately is not good, so why are you spending all this money on it? And two, the old stuff, like I said, does not have microtransactions. So what, they're just going to get the whole game for one price? What kind of madness is that? But it actually gets worse when you really start to think about it, right? Because this was a tweet that was posted by Charlie Intel. They said Halo, Gears of War, and Forza, Xbox's 3 big first-party franchises, are officially on PlayStation. Of course, the Gears of War Reloaded, this came out in August of 2025. Forza Horizon 5 was already announced for PlayStation, and now we have Halo. And this is what I meant in my previous videos when I said Xbox has already collapsed. People just don't realize it yet. These things indicate that these contracts were signed months ago. Of course they were signed months ago, because they started working on these games months ago, if not years ago, in fact. And so when you think about what made Xbox valuable back in the day, it was some of these franchises. I would throw Fable in there as well, because I am a Fable nerd, although I know that that was on PC. But my point is, if you're a gaming company and your legacy is these franchises, these are the things people remember most about the golden days and the golden era of Xbox. They don't have that anymore. They've given it away. They've signed that right away to another company, to its competitor, mind you, in order to justify their continued existence and production costs. There is officially no reason to ever buy another Xbox piece of hardware. The death of Xbox came from Xbox. Now you could argue that it was actually competition, Nintendo and Sony just crushing them for the past decade. It's fair to say that, but really, like, if they held onto these things and they hired talented people to develop these games, they probably could have made some sort of comeback if they did it right enough times in a row. And if you don't believe me, think about this, okay? Xbox's Sarah Bond says the idea of exclusives is outdated. Quote, "We're seeing people evolve way past that." Okay, let's be clear. It is better for the consumer for these games to be on all platforms, 100%, right? You don't need to buy an expensive piece of hardware. You could just play the game on whatever you already have. That's fantastic for the consumer. But if what you want to do is build a successful gaming company or gaming franchise in the form of Xbox, you do kind of need good games. You kind of need a reason to get the console. Does that make sense? I mean, you don't even have to take my word for it. The evidence is Nintendo. They just resold Galaxy 1 and 2 as a bundle for $70. Again, by the way, they already resold Galaxy with 3D All-Stars. Nintendo is pumping out exclusives that people are gobbling up, and you can only get them on Nintendo, and that's why Nintendo has been the most dominant platform in the last, I don't know, when the Switch came out, 2017? Okay, so the last 8 years, PlayStation and Xbox have been getting curb stomped by Nintendo. It's not even close. Just look at the best-selling consoles of all time. We have the Switch right here, 153 million units. PlayStation 5 is at 80 million. I know it's got 3 fewer years of sales. Xbox Series X and S is at 28 million. It's like shockingly low here. So Xbox is completely out of touch, right? Like they actually are just wrong. They're just straight up wrong here. The idea of exclusives is not outdated. It is actually what's destroying you. Like, that is the differentiating factor between Nintendo and everybody else. And I'm not saying you have to like Nintendo. I'm not saying you even have to like their games, but it is abundantly clear that if you can't play Mario anywhere else, you'll buy the Switch. That's it. We just saw this with Pokemon. They sold 200,000 Switch 2s in Japan. That's not even a Switch 2 exclusive. Obviously, games that are exclusive to your platform matter a ton. You're a video game company. Why do you think that the video games don't matter? And this news, of course, has gamers very upset. Okay, we see apparently the owner of Video Game Chronicles, I had no idea about that. He says, "Emotions are high today. Some of my greatest gaming memories came from Xbox. I've loved covering the platform over 20 plus years, but I can't help but feel feel Microsoft has manipulated their fan base and quietly ditched their obligations as a platform holder. Xbox fans deserved better. This, bro, I could not have said this better, brother. Microsoft has been talking out of both sides of their mouth for the better part of a decade now, saying one thing, doing another. They just completely mismanaged the entire Xbox brand for the longest time at this point. And the best part, right, is that for weeks now we have been talking about how Xbox is just constantly making the wrong decisions, right? And while the internet is losing their minds about Halo going to PlayStation, either out of excitement, right, or out of like a moment of silence, they're like, okay, like, look, we get it now, like Xbox is completely dead, right? And what does Xbox say about this? What is their response to all the chatter going on about the brand? Wart. Now look, I get it. I get that this is a meme from Combat Evolved. I know, okay? But it just goes to show how out of touch they are. Like, they think this is like a quirky, cute little funny response to everything going on. It's like, buddy, your brand is imploding. What are you doing? Like, I mean, this literally sums it up, right? I feel like this is how everyone feels about Xbox right now. It's just like, it's crazy. It's actually crazy. Now, remember earlier when I said we were going to touch on Nintendo? I'll be brief here because I do want to cover the mentality that caused the Xbox collapse because it's so abundantly clear from recent reports. And we'll also talk about more price increases later in this video that some people might already know about. But really quick, I saw this tweet and it immediately clicked because this is, I didn't realize that I had already thought about this like months ago, right? But this user says, Halo coming to other consoles, Master Chief is on new platforms, it's not on Nintendo just yet, but trust where the road will lead. And I think, look, I remember back in college, I think it was freshman or sophomore year, I was hanging out in my friend's dorm room and we had perhaps just a little bit too much to drink, okay? And I remember waking up the next day thinking to myself, wait a minute, I vividly remember playing Super Smash Bros. Brawl last night, except I played as Master Chief and Goku. And I was like, man, was I really that drunk? And probably, right? I mean, probably, but I texted my buddies and they were like, oh yeah, we have a hacked version of Brawl, right? And from that moment on, I realized just how natural it would be for Master Chief to be in a Smash Brothers game. And that was unfortunately a very long time ago. I'm an old man, but I've always felt like Master Chief deserved to be in Smash Brothers. And now that we see, of course, Halo on PlayStation, and I think leaks suggest that 2026 is the year of the third party for Nintendo Switch 2. Let's be real, the Master Chief collection, or at least Halo campaign evolved, is probably going to come to the Switch 2. And when push comes to shove, you know that we are eventually going to get another Smash Brothers game, whether it's the definitive version of the one on the Switch or it's a whole new one, who really knows? But one thing is abundantly clear, DLC with Master Chief would sell like hotcakes, boys. Everybody knows it, whether you like it or not, whether you think Master Chief deserves to be there or not, you know it's gonna sell. And look, the crowd goes wild. And can you imagine Master Chief coming to Mario Kart? I feel like that's a little bit too much. I don't know why. I don't know why in my mind it doesn't make sense for him to be in Mario Kart, but it does make sense for him to be in Smash Bros. Maybe it's because we've already seen Snake and Sephiroth in Smash Bros, and the most out of place thing we've ever seen in a Mario Kart game is like Link, right? I don't know, but either way, I think Master Chief is coming to Nintendo in some form or fashion in the future if it's coming to Sony. And the reason for this is because Xbox has their goals completely misaligned, in my opinion. And like, look, what do I know, right? Xbox is a multi-million-dollar company. I'm just a goofball on the internet, but look at this. Xbox boss says its biggest competition isn't PlayStation or Nintendo, it's TikTok and movies. Buddy, there's levels to this game, okay? You can't even beat PlayStation or Nintendo. What makes you think you're competing with TikTok and movies? And by the way, movies are in the dumpster right now. I mean, Hollywood is not doing too well. I don't know if you noticed, but I guess, you know, Netflix and things like K-pop Demon Hunter, like, sure, okay, those are doing well. But my point is, you can't set your sights for the entertainment industry at large when you are in last place in your own niche. Does that make sense? Like, that'd be like your local high school football team being like, our biggest competition isn't the other schools in the area, it's actually the NFL. It's like, oh, okay, buddy, I mean, I like the energy there, but you're not even close. You are not even, brother, you're not even close. A super quick Google search suggests that Xbox has over 500 million monthly monthly active users across PC and mobile following the acquisition of Activision Blizzard. So that, I guess they're including all the Call of Duty players, all of the World of Warcraft players, maybe. So this is like a super generous number. Like it's probably not actually even close to that. As we can see here, Xbox Network has 120 million monthly active users as of early 2023. TikTok as of late 2024 has over 1.5 billion monthly active users. So even with Xbox's most generous upper end estimates, TikTok is way bigger. Now, if Microsoft wants to take on TikTok or whatever, then sure, go ahead, right? You can challenge Netflix, PvP them 1v1 with just your bank accounts if you wanted to, but Xbox specifically, it's not even close. And this is the thing, right? And I think this is sort of the mindset that has caused Xbox as a brand to completely implode over the last like month or so, because we see this leak came out 2 days ago. Microsoft is cracking down on Xbox with absurd profit requirements. Okay, so this explains why they've raised their prices on their consoles twice this year, plus Game Pass, plus giving out their best franchises to anyone that will take them. A push for 30% profit has led to layoffs, project cancellations, and price increases. Bloomberg has published a new report about the state of Microsoft's Xbox division, providing some potential insight into the reasoning behind so many baffling decisions the company has made in the last 2 years. Apparently, Microsoft leadership has been pushing Xbox to reach a much higher profit margin than is typically expected in the video game industry, and the result is a fundamental shakeup in everything the company has been building, leading to raising prices, canceling games, and sweeping layoffs across its many acquired studios. According to the report, Microsoft set a goal for Xbox of 30% quote accountability margins, which is apparently the term the company uses in place of profit margins. As Bloomberg lays out, the average profit margin in the industry is anywhere from 17 to 22%, with Xbox having averaged anywhere between 10 and 20% over the past 6 years. So a 30% goal is not only far above what the industry typically delivers, it's well above what Xbox has been bringing in as of late. Okay, so Microsoft wants Xbox to basically double their profit margin. Okay, and so what Xbox did is fire people and cancel games, and then okay, this just seems this is like the most short-sighted strategy I can even imagine, right? It's like as if you're having like a Black Friday sale on everything in your inventory just to pay this month's rent, but then next month you're not going to have anything left, right? This is not a long-term strategy. Even if you hit that 30% for 1 quarter or even 1 year, then what? Then we go back to below 10% profit margins because there's nothing left for Xbox. You've just killed it. So I don't understand this strategy. And of course, why would I? I'm just a stupid YouTuber who makes video game content. I don't run these multi-million-dollar companies, but I mean, this just seems like one of those things where even the casual bystander can kind of like agree that like no one understands what their strategy even is. But apparently people who are more successful than me also agree, because ex-Blizzard president Mike Ibarra slams "This is an Xbox" campaign, quote, "Wrong idea, wrong time. Xbox is about games. Games always rule the world." This is what he said over on Twitter in response to this user who said that the ROG Ally shouldn't have had Windows, it should have had Xbox operating system, right? Mike replies, "It makes sense to me since they're out of hardware and exclusive games. That includes the dedicated operating system, which is essential for any console device. They are a publisher who will embrace Windows. Most will just pirate all the games to the devices unless they use Steam. Why does Steam help piracy? Because it's a flawless experience with a great return policy. Windows is far from a flawless experience and will never be one." Based and true. From a business standpoint, it's a fine strategy. If they can make good games and embrace Steam, will sell on PlayStation, Nintendo, and PC. Big if, given track record of games for the last 15 years. I'll touch on that in just a second. Only a moron would continue to make hardware when the games all go or will go third party. To shift, they'll have to go back to exclusive, make great hardware at a loss, and strive to win the living room. That's not their strategy, which is fine, but for some reason they just keep riding the middle, not being clear, doing more harm for no reason. That's bro, that is exactly what I've been saying. As I said 1,000 times, get a clear strategy and rip the band-aid off and focus on execution, otherwise death by 1,000 needles. Also ditch the "This is an Xbox" campaign. Wrong idea, wrong time. Xbox is about games. Games always rule the world, and if they don't have parity between the consoles and any other device, then it's just not an Xbox. Confusing. Whoever came up with this clearly doesn't play games. That is, and that's really what it boils down to, right? Is like, it's just so clear from anyone everyone who's like been watching this, that these feel like Microsoft decisions, not Xbox decisions, right? And I know that they are the same, but they're not the same really. Microsoft makes all their money from cloud services and like business to business sales, and Xbox is about selling a product or service directly to a consumer, right? So you have to know who that consumer is. It's no longer just, oh well, let's just make services and use AI and that'll work, right? I mean, maybe, but not right now. Clearly it's not working. And just to touch back on this statement, like I said earlier, given the track record of the games for the last 15 years, this is the problem, right? And I think this is another reason why people aren't like super excited over the new Halo campaign Evolved, because they're looking at this and saying, okay, this is going to be on Unreal Engine 5 and it's going to be on PlayStation. Great, right? But what does that mean for the next Halo? We're cool with the last Halo. We can play the last Halo. We already have ways to do that. We even have the Master Chief Collection, which looks great. Is being on PlayStation and possibly even Switch 2 going to help the next Halo? Is Unreal Engine 5 going to help the next Halo? I think the answer is not really. It doesn't really address the actual problem. It might address the sales thing, right? Where, okay, now you've got a bigger install base, you can sell more units of whatever your next thing is. Fantastic, right? But the problem is really just the fact that the most recent Halo games haven't been as good as Halo 1, 2, and 3. I mean, let's just call it what it is. I mean, everybody knows this, right? It's just a fact. Everyone can see this for what it really is. The problem is the quality of the games and their experiences, right? And so when we think about, will their strategy work? The answer is only if the games are good, right? And so you're doing everything but that. You're doing all this extra stuff when the number one thing you need to focus on is like, make a good damn game. Like, that's really all it comes down to. Can you just try to make a good game instead of like canceling different projects and firing people? And like what is going on? Did you guys forget, like, you sell games, you know what I mean? Like, hello, that's the foundation of like your entire business model. Everything is built on the idea of the games being good. And so like, you have to start there. What are you doing? But instead they keep trying to maximize profits in insane ways. And this was posted a couple of days ago. Xbox has found yet another way to raise prices. Won't someone please think of the multi-billion-dollar company? Xbox has found yet another way to raise prices, this time by increasing the cost of its Xbox development kit from $1,500 to $2,000. This 33% price hike is the latest in a long line of expensive choices from the company. Just a few weeks ago, a Game Pass subscription price increase had users in an uproar. We've covered this on the channel. Representatives from the company claim this price increase, quote, reflects macroeconomic developments, end quote, which is the exact verbiage used to justify the Xbox cost hike from earlier this year. Okay, that doesn't make any sense, right? Because if you're blaming macroeconomics, which, like, look, is there an argument there? Sure, right? I mean, even Nintendo is facing this reality, PlayStation is facing this reality, and even other industries are facing this reality right now, right? But when we're talking about dev kits, you're not selling dev kits to consumers. This is business to business. You are selling a dev kit to somebody who's trying to develop games for your hardware. And by the way, the Xbox is down the drain. No one, why even develop for the Xbox? Xbox doesn't even care about the Xbox. So why should the game developer? This was a waste of money at $1,500. It makes no sense here, right? And this is the other thing. It's like the number of people interested in buying an Xbox console was already small as it is, right? But now we're talking about Xbox dev kits. The consumer for that product is like, it's teeny tiny. There's only a handful of developers out there. Like, what is that $500 really gonna, that's gonna make the difference for the Xbox brand? Really? No, what's gonna happen is more developers are gonna say, okay, screw you guys. This wasn't worth it before. Now it's really doubly not worth it. Forget it. We're done with Xbox. But this is just the doubling and tripling down of high prices. After releasing a $1,000 handheld, Microsoft has said its next gen Xbox console is, quote, going to be a very premium, very high-end curated experience. Bro, what are you doing, bro? Hello, the consumer's price sensitive right now. How many failures in a row do you need to have in order to get that? Like, are they trying to just kill the brand? I don't understand. Like, I don't get it. I genuinely don't get it. Maybe this is like some 500 IQ play from these multimillionaires running these businesses, but like, no one bought your last console. You raised the prices. Everyone complained about the Switch 2 being $500. Then you release a $1,000 Xbox handheld. Then you increase the price of Game Pass. Everyone loses their mind and cancels it. And now you're saying, don't worry, guys. The next Xbox is definitely still coming. And yes, it will definitely be expensive. It's like, buddy, what? What? Hello? Someone's got to be fired. In fact, their whole team, just get the whole team out of here. Just fire everyone. Just start over, because what even is this? And by the way, yes, Xbox did confirm that they are releasing a new console. I'm still skeptical about this, right? But they did say they are in development here. Xbox president has confirmed that their next gen hardware is in development, which means Series X and S successors are on the way. Xbox has been going strong with a "This is an Xbox" campaign, bringing its services to all possible platforms. Okay, so right there, this is what I'm talking about. This is them talking out of both sides of their mouth. Do you care about your hardware, or is everything an Xbox? Which is it? You can't have both. You can't in your ads tell people that their phone is an Xbox and then release $1,000 Xbox and they're going to be like, well, what do I need that for? I already have a phone. You told me they're the same thing, so great news, I'm not buying your new console. What the hell? The article goes on to say Xbox Series X successors are in the prototyping and designing stage. During a new interview with Variety via The Gamer, Xbox president Sarah Bond was asked whether they are still going to make in-house consoles, to which she replied, confirming that the successors of the Series X are in development. Bond stated that they are, quote, 100% looking at making things in the future, end quote. I'm gonna break this down for you guys in case you're not familiar with this corporate jargon. Okay, this corporate lingo, this actually means literally nothing. Look at this. We are 100% looking at making things. You're looking at making things. That's the same thing as window shopping. That's like someone saying, are you buying a car? Well, you know, I'm 100% looking at buying a car. Like I'm definitely looking at getting one. Okay, sorry, are you buying one or not? It's like, yeah, I'm definitely looking at it. Yeah, totally, definitely thinking about maybe possibly looking at getting one for sure, dude. It's happening 100% as we are speaking. We're looking at making it. This means nothing. This is a worthless statement. This does not guarantee anything. Anyone who looks at that statement and says, oh yeah, they're definitely making another Xbox, you're a fool. This means absolutely nothing. If these things are in the prototyping and designing stage, Microsoft could easily still pull the plug on this, no question. And you could say, Omniarch, they already announced their partnership with AMD, right? And you know, if they spent all this money prototyping and designing it, surely they're going to bring it out. And it's like, no, that is a sunk cost fallacy. Xbox and Microsoft already know that, right? They already have spent the money on the prototype and design. What matters for them is the future outlook of Xbox. Okay, so in 2 months, if they look back and see, okay, we've destroyed the brand, they're actually saving money by pulling the plug. Does that make sense? Because if they don't pull the plug, then they have to go through with manufacturing and marketing and shipping the units and paying suppliers and all this other stuff, right? They have to spend even more millions, and if they can conclude right now that it's a failure, it's better off to just pull the plug. So them saying, oh well, we're 100% looking at making it, we're in the prototype design stage, it's like, that's pish posh. That is smoke and mirrors. That they literally don't know. They don't know if the next Xbox is coming out. I'm telling you right now, they do not have a concrete path forward. I can guarantee you that. And really, I think they should. I really do think they should pull the plug here, because look at this. Xbox boss comments on next gen console power. Xbox's next generation console will provide a very high-end experience for gamers, according to company president Sarah Bond. Bond hinted that Xbox's current strategy with console development may be hidden in the design of the new handheld gaming computer. They're talking about the ROG Xbox Ally, promising a handheld able to run both Xbox and PC games on its portable screen through cloud gaming and let players pick up where they left off on their not so mobile devices. Okay, so let me get this straight. From her own words, the next Xbox will be a very premium, very high-end curated experience, and hints about that console's design and philosophy and strategy are within the ROG Xbox Ally. Okay, so what she's saying here is that this new Xbox console that they are developing, right, it's basically going to be a Xbox PC hybrid. It's going to be very expensive. It will probably have some form of Windows. It's going to focus on cloud gaming with multiple marketplaces, so maybe you can access your Steam library there. And if all of that is true, then we can assume that the pricing strategy is going to be the same as well. I mean, how do you provide a premium experience just like the ROG without having a premium price along with it, especially if it's going to be super powerful like they keep saying it's going to be? It's going to be the most powerful Xbox ever. Okay, bet, got it, buddy. But what I'm hearing you saying is that this is going to be $1,000 console, if not more. Okay, so hang on, let me just get this right. Okay, you think that what the gaming industry wants right now is a super expensive console that's basically a PC. You understand that if people wanted that, they would just I don't know, buy a damn PC. Hello, like what consumer are you targeting? The console players don't want a PC. The evidence for that is that they're playing on a console. They don't want to deal with Windows updates. They don't want to deal with optimizing their, oh, I need more RAM, and oh, this graphics card is not great. Oh, I got to boot up NVIDIA GeForce Experience so I can tweak the anti-aliasing or the whatever. They don't want to deal with that. They just want to load up the game and it just runs on the console and it is optimized for that console, and that is it. That is what the console player wants. They are extremely casual here. All they have the console for at the end of the day is the new Madden, the new Call of Duty, and that's it. Okay, sometimes they play Fortnite with their cousin on the weekends. That's your console gamer. Okay, so them having a console PC hybrid, the console gamer doesn't want that. So then you think, okay, well, does the PC gamer want that? No, the PC gamer hasn't bought a console since the Xbox 360, and wouldn't you know, that was your damn console. So why don't you just go back to what you did with that thing and think about, okay, what made the 360 so successful, and just do that but better. Like, is it really rocket science? Maybe you guys need people in leadership positions that are hardcore gamers who actually know who the target audience is that they're trying to sell these things to. And here's some evidence to support my hypothesis. This was just posted on Game Reactor 4 hours ago. Sony beats Nintendo in September console sales. Despite being nearly 5 years old, the PlayStation 5 managed to outsell the Switch 2 in September. And let me be very clear, these are global hardware estimates from VG Charts, which has historically been known to not be 100% accurate. And typically what VG Charts will do is they will release their estimates and then go back and tweak those numbers as they actually get the data. So just to be very clear, this is not actual data. This is an estimated data for September of 2025. But what we can see here is that the PlayStation 5 is estimated to have sold more units than the Switch 2, which is actually crazy. If that ends up being the case, that has huge implications for the Switch 2, which I'm sure I'll talk about in a future video. But look at this, man. The Xbox Series X and S combined sold half of, or is estimated to sell half of, what the Switch 1 sold. So the Switch 1 already has a predecessor out there, and Xbox still can't compete with the Switch 1, and it's not even close. They're getting lapped by Nintendo. It's like, do you need any more data to support the fact that you need to focus on actual gamers and focus on making good games and good hardware? Like, what are you doing, Xbox? Xbox, listen up, come closer. Okay, if you're watching, come closer. I have a tip that is worth millions of dollars. If you end up using it, I'll send you my invoice. I want a cut. Okay, gamers are extremely price sensitive right now. The most popular games in the world are free to play for a reason. We're talking about Fortnite, we're talking about Genshin Impact. People are broke. Okay, the cost of rent is through the roof. The cost of insurance is through the roof. People do not have unlimited funds for their hobbies these days. So stop raising the prices and pricing the consumer out of your ecosystem. This is literally business 101 stuff right here. You should be maximizing the value that you are giving your customer. Does that sound familiar? Like, maybe you guys haven't thought about that in a decade, but like, hey, maybe give the customers what they want. Maybe, does that sound familiar? I know this is groundbreaking stuff here, but sometimes you lose sight of the basics, and it really, at this point, it's that simple. So just go back to that being your core pillar and build things out from there. Okay, and gamers, if you made it to the end of the video, consider dropping a thumbs up down below. It really helps out the channel a ton, and you might think you're subscribed because you've seen a couple of my videos, but you're actually not. Double check down below.